So let me give you a definition of Christian boldness. Christian boldness is loving Jesus and people so much that you become dangerous. Let me say it again. Christian boldness is no more and no less than loving Jesus and people so much so that you become dangerous. We had William Oyler's funeral last week. He's an unusual guy, and he was a car mechanic. Is that a great name for a car mechanic? William Oyler. He was killed in an automobile accident. I was really sad because I liked him. He loved Jesus with all of his heart, but he didn't fit anybody's mold. He did stuff he ought not have done as a Christian. He was single, had gone through a divorce. Jesus found him when he was a drunk and a motorcycle gang member. And Jesus did some good stuff, but there were other things he didn't clean up about William. I decided, frankly, to go to the funeral because I didn't think anybody would be there, honestly. I mean, he didn't seem to be that famous, that well-known. And I got to the church, and it was absolutely packed. There were people standing along the road, the walls at the church. And I looked out over that bunch, and I realized all of us are here because we thought nobody else would be. And we're here because William Oyler touched our lives. You should have seen the motorcycle gang members. They were there, man, their leather jackets, the tattoos. William had a ponytail, and I looked out, and half the guys there had ponytails, and there were a bunch of drunks, a lot of them recovering, and William had told them about Jesus. Every Saturday, he had a time at the church where he'd gotten together some other Christian mechanics, and they worked on the cars of the single women in the church. They changed their oil and fixed the cars, and they did it free, and all those women were there. There were students there. There were people that William had been honest with, where he had kicked posterior, where he'd used language that you ought not use if you're a Christian. But we were all there, and then they lined up, and they started coming to the podium to tell stories about William. One said, "I wish I could tell a joke he told me, but it wouldn't be appropriate here." Another said, who was a seminary student, William Oyler said to me, "Son, grow up." His wife was standing there, and she loved William for this. Said, "Son, step to the plate. You brought this thing into my shop to have me change the oil. You're going to pay me $65 for this. You're in seminary. You can't afford it. Go change your own oil. Keep the $65. And one girl got up and said, William said to me, "Boy, your car is messy." And I said, "I know, I don't have any time." And William said, "Nonsense, clean it up and I'll fix it." The drunk got up and he said, "Man, I was flat out drunk when William loved me." William did a lot of counseling. He headed up a number of organizations, was a part of a men's Bible study. And he had tattoos, and he was mean, and he loved God with all of his heart. And if I could bring him here, well, we'd have a big crowd. But if I could bring him here, I wouldn't even preach on boldness. I'd just interview him. Because William honestly didn't care what people thought about him because he'd been with Jesus. Everybody knew he was bad, so he didn't have to pretend. He wasn't educated, so he didn't have to be right. William just loved Jesus, and he loved people so much that he was dangerous.